I have to tell you, I have felt the oldest that I've ever felt last week. I was in a training class for my new job with Cellular Sales. It's a Verizon Wireless authorized retailer. And we had a class full of about 9 people. I was the oldest by 6 years. It's like, oh man, I'm going to be like the dad of the group. And sure enough, I was. I mean, I've never felt older in my life until last week. I was like, because I'm not old. You know what I'm talking about. When you're in your 30s, you still feel like you're nice and young. But then you hang out with some 20-something-year-olds and then you realize, like, man, I'm starting to become a little out of touch. And that's how I was during training last week. I was having conversations, and I'm going to say kids, because I told you, I feel old. And I'm sure you feel this way whenever you deal with younger people. They're bringing up new slang. You're like, man, I've never heard of this one before. I mean, now, I've heard some of the slang that they've used, but I've only heard it used in like TikToks, never in a regular conversation, because I only interact with 20-something-year-olds or younger on TikTok. They'll show up in my For You page. Now I'm dealing with them in person. So to be able to hear the words like, my guy, oh, that's sus, no cap, I'm like, huh. I don't even know what half of these words are. Some of the things and phrases that they're saying, I'm like, time to pull up Urban Dictionary. Pulling it up, and they're like, oh, okay. That's what that means. Still, I was like scratching my head trying to figure out, even after reading Urban Dictionary, like, oh man, I would have never thought of using that word. Would have never thought of using that phrase. But like when I was talking to these kids last week, I was talking to them about things that I use pretty much on a daily basis when I was in junior high and high school. I was like, man, have you guys ever heard of Instant Messenger? They're like, no, what is that? Oh, man, let me tell you what. Instant Messenger was texting before everyone had cell phones. That's the way that you communicated with all of your friends. You had a screen name. And coming up with a screen name was one of the biggest, most pressure-filled things that you had to deal with as a kid. It has to be cool. It has to be something that's you. Like, there was all these different criteria that you had to hit in order to have a cool screen name on Instant Messenger. Mine wasn't that cool. Actually, mine was very lame. You want to know what mine was? Cubs fan 2706. The numbers, I don't even want to explain what the numbers were, because they're just that dumb. But I just felt old having to explain that, and then having to explain the away message. The away message had to give it like something that was funny, something that kind of gave to the clues of when you would be back. I'm telling you, there was different criteria that you had to hit in order to feel cool, in order to feel like you were part of the community of AIM. I would come up with some lame stuff all the time because I was lame, and I still think I am lame. But coming up with that cool away message, I can hear the sounds as I'm talking about this. I can remember the sounds of somebody signing on, the signs of someone signing off. You hear the door squeak on the way out. Like, that's what I'm thinking of right now. And I'm sure you probably spent some Fridays and Saturday nights as a kid sitting on Instant Messenger, waiting for your crush to come through. And then, nope, they never came through because mom and dad were expecting a phone call. So they couldn't be using up that dial-up internet, baby. Man, that was also a pain in the ass, right? You're getting to something good, maybe playing something on, what was it? What was that website? I'm drawing a blank, but it had the Cream Saver mini golf game on there. Candystand.com. Think of all the old games I used to play on there. That was a great website. Kids had no idea about that. I brought up one of my other favorite websites besides like candysand.com, which was MySpace. MySpace was a little bit later. I think I was in junior high school a little bit with MySpace. But the top 8 meant everything. If you made any adjustments to your top 8, there was going to be some conversations with all of your clique about, man, why did that person get moved out of the top 8? What did they do? Are they even friends anymore? There's no way that you could be friends with someone that's out of your top 8. That's like backstabbing level stuff if you found your way outside of someone's top 8. I would exile someone if I wasn't in their top 8. Felt like sometimes that I just needed to pay people off, be like, hey, give you $5 if I'm in your top 8. I just wanted to seem cool. That's it. That's all I wanted. But I never got it. I was only in a couple of people's top 8. I really wish that I could be. I worked really hard trying to get into people's top 8. Because I wanted to be somebody, but I couldn't be somebody. Maybe I just needed to work harder and harder to try and prove myself. But you know what? I just have no work ethic. And I'm kind of alluding to Kim Kardashian. I don't know if you heard what she said last week. Now, Kim K is not someone that I would usually talk about. But what she said last week, I thought was the absolute most funny thing coming from Kim Kardashian. Here it is.
In business.
Let me start that over again. See, I record this podcast live, so if I screw up, you're going to know that I screwed up. So that was me screwing up.
I have the best advice for women in business. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days.
That's so true.
You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do because you have one life. No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work.
Kim Kardashian, you can't talk about showing up, working your ass off. You can't do that. The only time that you worked your ass off to get into the spotlight was when you had your sex tape with Ray J. That was the one time you had your ass up. Everyone saw that one. I think it's so funny. I talked to you about Pam and Tommy, the Hulu show. Like, I was young with Pam and Tommy. The Kim Kardashian and Ray J, that film, that was like my generation's Pam and Tommy. It was all over the place. But I just think it's funny when you hear Kim Kardashian talking about working hard. Now, she might work hard. I know she's a producer on her television show. She is very involved. She has all these different companies. Like, her job of working hard is just showing up somewhere and making sure that she gets some good pictures so she can post on her social media for ads. Some thirst traps on there. You know, Pete Davidson probably doesn't really appreciate all the work that she's doing out there. I honestly laughed out loud when I heard Kim Kardashian talk about that. I'm like, coming from her, if you want to talk about someone that works hard in that family, it's the mom, Kris Kardashian, because she changed her name. She had to be a part of the group. Yo, Kris, she works her ass off. As soon as the Kardashians seem to be swept under the rug, something happens where they're back out in the spotlight. That's their mom being a great PR person. She's like, no, not my daughters. My daughters are not going to be just left to waste away. What do I have to do to pimp them out there so that way we could keep all these deals going on? But I did find it funny, too, when I heard Kim Kardashian talking about, you know, I got advice. I played the clip for you. But this was another thing that I really thought about. And I hope you thought about this clip from a movie when I played the clip for Kim Kardashian about to you.
You get your ass out there and you find that fucking dog.
Yeah, you got to get off your ass and find that fucking dog. That's what you do when you work hard. That's all I could think of. I'm like, man, Kim Kardashian, she has a lot in common with Billy Madison. It's all about working hard. Billy Madison worked hard. Now, listen, he might not have done it until later in life when Dad was about to give up his company, but he did it. He got his ass up, went to school to prove to Dad that he was not a fool. But he did it. Kim Kardashian. You know what? Maybe that's where we make the connection in life. Kim Kardashian is actually just the female version of Billy Madison. She popped up later in life after her sex tape. That was her working her ass off to prove to her mom that she could be a part of it. See, look, my brain works in weird ways. I don't even know if that really made sense. To me and my brain, that totally made sense. But Kim Kardashian isn't working hard. She's not going out working a full 9 to 5, then coming home, having to cook and clean. She's not doing those things. Me, I got to do those things. Nora, she's got to do those things. Speaking of cleaning, oh man, I tell you what, I don't mind doing like the necessary pickup around the house. But when you have to fully clean your house because you have someone coming over, that's when it's a total pain in the ass. So we had my mother-in-law in town over the weekend. And last week I started to clean up the house because I'm like, we got to get it ready, right? People are coming over. Got to have the house looking nice. There's one thing that I did not want to do. Cleaning the bathroom. I never want to do that. I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Everything else around the house, I'll leave that job for Nora. It's like, listen, I blow up that bathroom enough. I don't want to be cleaning up that toilet. And I feel bad for making her do it, but I'm like, I know how I treat that toilet. No, I'm not cleaning it up. But I think cleaning the bathroom might be the worst household chore. Scrubbing the toilets, the sink, the shower. You got to do all those. All time-consuming stuff. Dealing with gross areas of the house. And sometimes, not only do you have to deal with the streaks that are in the toilet, but like sometimes for me in the middle of the night, I don't want to turn on the light in the bathroom when I'm going pee. So sometimes, you get a little splatter, not in the toilet, a little. I know it's gross, okay? All right? I'm not the only one that does it, but I usually clean up after myself if I miss a little bit at night. Don't try and say that I'm the only one that does it. I know I'm not. I've been in other people's bathrooms at their house. But cleaning the bathroom is the worst thing. Number 2 of the worst things to have to clean is your clothes. Doing laundry. Laundry day sucks. I don't mind putting the laundry inside of the washing machine and dryer, but having to fold it, that's a whole day's chore in itself. Folding it, putting it in the right spot. Like, I feel like I can never put Nora's clothes back in the right spot. I attempt to, but I know I don't succeed when it comes to that. I see her do this, where I'll put stuff in her closet, and what she'll do is she'll take it and move it into the areas that it's supposed to be. Because she has it broken down. Sweatshirts, t-shirts, by color. There's a system there. With me, it's like I'm just taking this stuff that's on the hanger and putting it in the closet. That's basic. That's all that I need. I don't need to have this real fancy system. I'm a dude. Like, the fact that I fold my clothes is a win in itself. It is. I'm telling you. When I was single, you know what I used to do after I did laundry? Left it in the laundry basket. And then I would wear some wrinkled-ass clothes to work. Mostly at the time that I was just wearing his sweatpants and hoodies, so it really didn't matter all that much. But I didn't want to fold that stuff, man. That was such a pain. And the other reason why I probably hated it so much is because I waited until I had no more underwear to do my laundry. That's how I would do it. When I didn't have any fresh chonies to wear, I would do my laundry. And sometimes I wouldn't even do it then. If I was feeling really lazy, you know what I would do? I would stop at Walmart or Target on the way home, and I would pick up another pack of underwear. Like, all right, just earned myself another 5 days. Man, I wish that my underwear selection was like that now. Now, I'm all about wearing good underwear, and it's very expensive. This may be TMI, but the Duluth Trading Company underwear, gosh, it's so good. I wear the Buck Naked. They have different styles, but the Buck Naked bullpen, top notch. When I say bullpen, there's a slot in there for your family jewels to go and rest in during the day. Great technology. Whoever developed that, thank you so much. Thank you. I owe you, well, I shouldn't say I owe you anything because I pay you a lot with my underwear, okay? If you want to see how much these fancy underwear cost from Duluth Trading Company, go to the website. I want to say they start at like $20. I never thought that I would spend $20 on underwear for one, but I do it because I'm telling you, if you ever change, you're never going back. Never in your life. And I wish I could go back to a simpler time when I was just wearing Hanes, the bargain package of Hanes underwear. I was cheap. So I would go to Target or Walmart now to make sure that I would find, the 4-pack, but they have a bonus pair. I wanted to rock that bonus pair of underwear. That's something that my mom always taught me when we went to the store. She's like, hey, when you go in the section, go in the underwear section, but make sure you look for the pack that has the bonus pair on there. I'm like, okay, Mom. Yeah, that's great. Thanks for teaching me that trick. My mom taught me a lot of great stuff, right? Like watching the Wheel of Fortune. I told you about the Wheel of Fortune and the mishap that we had a couple of weeks ago, if you caught up on the podcast. But we had some more idiots on the Wheel of Fortune. I swear, we keep getting dumber and dumber as a society. And it's because we have phones that will autocorrect if we're spelling something wrong. We don't have to remember anything because it's just a Google away or it's just in your phone. But on the Wheel of Fortune this week, the board was pretty much there for anyone to take, for anyone to win that round. Because this was up on the board. It was renting a space, an A, and another space, PEDA blank boat. Now, let's hear what these idiots had to say.
I like to solve.
Yeah.
Renting a paddle boat.
No, that's not right. Oh. Michelle, you have $3,000. You can
I don't
spin
know
again,
why
but
she
you don't
was
have
laughing
to.
like that.
$600. What letter do you want?
M.
No. Crystal.
I have to spin.
Crystal shouldn't have been like laughing at all. She comes across dumb.
W?
No.
See? Dumb. Absolutely dumb. Nobody's guessing a W on that. It was renting a paddle boat. I almost said paddle boat, but it's pedal boat. I almost said it. I almost goofed up. So maybe it was a little bit harder than ever. But, I mean, this went on for long. I looked for a little bit more of a condensed version of this. But, man, we're not there. I think what they need to do on the Wheel of Fortune, because they've changed the rules up over the years. They've introduced new prizes and different ways to start rounds and stuff like that. But if you're that big of an idiot, there should be some sort of like walk of shame thing that you have to do. Whatever it is, I don't know. We could brainstorm something in the Wheel of Fortune meeting that goes on when it comes time to create new things to make the show even more entertaining. We could come up with some walk of shame stuff that contestants have to do. Maybe get pied in the face. I don't know. Maybe they have to walk across set with their pants down. I don't know. Something. We have to come up with a way to really force contestants to just start giving it their all and not look like idiots on national TV. Or this could be an alternative to this. The viewership for the Wheel of Fortune might not be the best anymore. So they're like, how can we come up with great ways to get eyes on the product? Let's put idiots on the show. And then when they don't solve the puzzle right, it will go viral and everybody's going to be watching it. Maybe that's what the geniuses behind the Wheel of Fortune actually did, because it's worked. In the last 3 weeks, we've had viral Wheel of Fortune clips. How many other game shows? Think Wheel of Fortune and The Family Feud are the only two game shows that you actually get viral clips from. Steve Harvey's hilarious. That's because that's all his thing. That's the reason why those clips go viral. But for a show like the Wheel of Fortune, shouldn't be getting viral clips from that. Should be smarter. I would not want to go out in public again. If I were taking those guesses, it'd be like, man, I'm just an idiot. Work from home jobs only for me now on. Can never show my face in public. Gonna wear a brown bag over my head like the Lions fans used to do back in the day. I wouldn't be able to do it. It's laughable. It really is. If you've listened to the podcast for a few weeks now, or maybe just a week, and you caught up all the different episodes, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I've had some great conversations with a lot of you that have listened. I seriously, it means so much that you would take time out of your day to listen to this podcast. We're going to keep growing this podcast, going to keep talking about things that you want to talk about. One of my buddies, Rusty, was the one that sent me that clip of the Wheel of Fortune. He was like, here, got another one for you for the podcast. I'm like, I just saw that. I was laughing my ass off and just writing that down to talk about on the podcast. So if there's ever anything that you want to talk about on the show, hit me up on social media. You can find me on Facebook. Just search for Luke Kelly. Twitter, Instagram, @LukeKellyShow. And a new episode's coming out on Wednesday. So tell your friends beforehand, hey, subscribe to this new show that I've been listening to. Comes out on Mondays and Wednesdays. I have it uploaded by 6 o'clock every Monday and Wednesday. And soon, I'm going to be starting some other podcasts as well. But I need to get on my feet with just this one podcast, all right? Until Wednesday, I'll talk to you later. I don't even know if I said that right. I don't think I said that right. Whatever, I'll just talk to you on Wednesday.